When sales manager Steve Scott was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer that had spread to his liver in 2004, his prognosis was grim: 18 months to live. He says he lost his faith in God when he was diagnosed and had to rely on inner strength to carry on. Steve did surgery and chemotherapy, 57 rounds of chemo in 2 years. He did touch healing during chemo. However, he says he made no changes to his lifestyle. He still eats everything, including sugar, desserts, and snacks. Steve enjoys cookies and candy. He attributes his survival to chemotherapy, surgery, a beautiful wife, a loving sister, his team of doctors, and cancer support groups. Steve also believes that being a newly married man at the time of diagnosis, he had a great life and was not ready to die. Motivated by circumstances, he did not listen to the first 4 doctors who gave him 6 months to live. He decided that there are rock stars in every profession. He started research that led to his rock star team at Memorial Sloan Kettering. He strongly believes that where you are treated matters. He did have great fear of relapse after 4 to 5 years of final surgery. Any ache or pain to him meant the cancer was possibly coming back, and then he decided to live one day at a time, which he says is easier said than done, as he has never quite overcome the fear completely. 18 months to live, thriving 8 years later. The Thrive Channel congratulates Steve Scott, ultimate survivor. I am a breast cancer survivor, a blood cancer survivor.
I'm Dr. Holly Lucille, a naturopathic doctor.
I am a mom of a teenager, a basset hound owner, a military wife.
My name is Dr. Deanna Atai, and I'm a breast surgeon.
I am a cancer survivor who is looking for answers just like you.
I'm Deborah Tripathi. I'm a medical oncologist.
What works, what doesn't? Welcome to Thrive with Namrata. One of the questions that I have for you guys today is chemotherapy versus immunotherapy that's coming up so much now in some of the newer trials. So does chemotherapy awaken any of your immune system? Do you think that's, I mean, I know it attacks the cells, but could it also then regenerate or give more defenses to your body so that eventually it's immunotherapy that kicks in?
Well, most of the effects of chemotherapy are immunosuppressive in the sense that they suppress the lymphocytes and neutrophils and the antibody production goes down. However, there has been some demonstration that as the cells die, they release antigens which the immune system then recognizes. So there may be some stimulation of the immune system with both radiation and chemotherapy. However, this is all still experimental. There are 2 cancers, particularly renal cell cancer and melanoma, that seem to be naturally immunogenic. They sort of stimulate the immune system. So as we're learning more how to control the immune system, some of the medications that can augment and boost that immunity have now been approved for both renal cell cancer and melanoma. And now some of the newer drugs, so-called checkpoint inhibitors that also activate the immune system in a different way, have been found to be effective in lung cancer and even in breast cancer. This is very early on from clinical trials, but we're hoping that these trials move through quickly and that we see some of these drug approvals in other areas. So I do think that cancer immunology has finally come of age. We are really hoping that we will soon have therapies that are of proven benefit.
Everybody's heard for years about either a cancer vaccine or some targeted specific treatment, and I think a lot of us feel that we still have a long ways to go, but we are getting so much closer.
And I mean, and I just have to say, I think that cancer is cunning and it's complex. Yes. But I also believe so much in the body's natural ability to heal, and it can do that if it's allowed to. So being able to look comprehensively, removing obstacles to cure, supporting the immune system, especially in cancer diagnosis, and then also if chemotherapy is chosen, if it does in fact sometimes suppress the immune system, using complementary methods to protect the rest of the body from those cells that you don't want to stop dividing, like your hair and your intestinal linings, and then also supporting the immune system is really important.
Which is so interesting though, because a lot of times when you go through treatments for cancer and you're doing chemo, most oncologists will dissuade you from doing any complementary healing while going through chemo because you don't want to, quote unquote, make your aggressive cells slow down.
Now, here's the thing that I think is really important. Now, I certainly have to, as a practitioner, as a licensed practitioner, I need to know my scope of practice, okay? And I need to know when to refer out. There are specialists, naturopathic oncologists, that know exactly what is indicated perhaps with certain chemotherapeutic agents, what is contraindicated with certain therapeutic agents, what can help a person, and they know specifically. I think where that message comes from is some conventional Western oncologists don't understand or know, and I wouldn't expect them to. That is not their scope of practice, knowing the pharmacognosy of herbal plant medicines. And so I do believe that the message comes from, they just say, don't do it because they just don't know. But I would say, hey, let's work as a team, okay? Keep that person centered in mind and get somebody who does know.
There are some naturopathic approaches to the immune system too that I think are very exciting and need a little more study. Iscador, for example, mushroom extracts, they do stimulate the immune system, and we need to learn if maybe they do it to the extent that they can actually improve outcomes and survival. So that needs more attention.
Steve Scott, thank you for being an ultimate survivor and ultimate thriver. We'll see you next week.